Hey, what's up you guys, Jack here. So today I'm going to show you guys how to build a 1v1 map like BHE 1v1 build fights. Right now this map is easily the most popular map on Fortnite Creative fill lobbies. Every creative I ever join I always see this. Quick shout out to BHE who made this very popular map on Fortnite Creative. His YouTube link can be found in the description. So I've actually been holding back on making this tutorial for a very long time, just in honor and respect for BHE and what he's built. But now BHE occasionally makes changes and adds new features into his map, making it one of a kind. Also, there are other maps out there that look just like BHE. Usually they have different features like hacks and stuff like that.
Are you kidding me?
I think it is a good time to show people on how to build a simple 1v1 map like BHE build fights. Alright, so before we get started, make sure you guys leave a like if you enjoy this type of tutorials, enjoy this type of content. Subscribe if you are new and you're interested in watching other content from me. Let's get right into it. We're gonna make a new island. Now, if you want, you can use other islands. BHE, from my understanding, you use the Wasteland Island. But I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be using the large grid island. Alright, once you're in your island, go into the middle of your map. Go to galleries, and we're going to go to the search bar and type in IND for indestructible. With that, the third one, it should be indestructible gallery. We're going to open this. We're going to select a few things. We're going to select the floor here, and also we're going to select the wall. Grab the floor first. We're going to place it right on the white square. Next, we're going to take the wall. With this wall, we're going to place it. Next, why not, we're actually going to grab a ramp. There's two ramp options. We got the original ramps used for BHE, and also we have the staircase, the stone staircase. So your choice, you can choose whichever one you want to use. I'm going to go and use the original ramp. Next, what we're going to do, we're actually going to build the floor out, and we're going to take the floor and we're going to build it out 5 times. Then the other side, that's 6 actually, there we go, that's 5. So I built it out 5 times both ways. Next, what I'm going to do is build it again 5 times outwards, but the other way. Alright, so once you've done that, I'm going to delete one side like so. There you go. Next, what we're going to do, we're actually going to fill in the floor. So we're going to take one of the floors and we're just going to fill in our square. Alright, a little tip, you can actually tell that it's nighttime right now in my creative. If you want a daytime, which I will actually change, go to my island and then go to the settings tab, and this time of day I'm going to set this to 4 p.m. and there you go, now it's daytime, so I can actually see what I am building. For specifics, my square is a 11 by 10 square. Next, what we're going to do, I'm going to take the wall, then I'm going to actually build on the outside of that square. So it should look something like this. We're going to take the floor again, and we're actually going to fill in the top. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to go into the middle of our platform. What we just made is a platform for our 1v1 ramps. We're actually going to go in the middle where that ramp was, where we placed it, so that we can grab the ramp. With the ramp, we're going to set it up in the middle of our map. We don't need this wall down here, so we'll delete that. We're just going to put the ramp and make 2 of them so that it's in the middle of our platform, just like so. We're actually going to make a mutator, and we're going to place it underneath our platform so that if you actually fall off the platform, you'll get teleported. We're going to go underneath the platform. Once you're underneath the platform, go to devices. In devices, go to mutator. There's a mutator zone. So you can actually see the ramp is right here. We're going to place the mutator right underneath the ramps. So in the settings, here are the settings that you'll have to change. A little tip for the people that don't really build things in Fortnite Creative, there's tabs at the top side of the screen. You got basic options, all options, modified options, and channels only. When you're changing the settings, go to all options so you can obviously see all the options. But I'm going to show you guys all the options that need to be changed for devices in this video, and you're going to have to go through the all options and then change it for yourself. So zone width, have it set to 100, zone depth 100, zone height 0.5, on player entering zone, transmit on channel 100. Now, this is very important. Make sure you set this channel correctly. All right, once that's done, confirm. If you look outside, you can actually see that we got a blue mutator that goes along pretty much most of the map here. Next, what we got to do, go to devices, go to the teleporter. With the teleporter, we're going to set this up right next to the ramps. This beam that's coming out of the teleporter, how I have it set so it's actually, facing the ramps, and I'll just keep it off to the side of the ramps. If you don't want it at the side of the ramps, you can, get creative and place it wherever you want. Maybe place it on top of the ramps like so. But once you have the teleporter down, go into the settings. Here are the settings that need to be changed. Teleporter group, set that to none. Teleporter target group, none. Teleporter rift visible, no. Play visual effects, no. Play sound effects, no. Conserve momentum, turn that to no. Face player and teleporter direction, turn this to yes. Teleport to when receiving from, set this to channel 100. If you remember, we had the mutator set to 100. So once you enter the mutator, you'll actually exit out of this teleporter. All right, next what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy. Oh shoot, I gotta show you guys how to do this. Okay, so for the people that don't know, you can actually select the devices or pretty much select anything on Fortnite Creative by clicking on the right on the D-pad if you're using a controller. If you're on mouse and keyboard, I have no idea. You're just gonna have to figure that out yourself. You're gonna select the teleporter and then the floor underneath it, and you can actually grab it with the right trigger or the R2, and then you can bring it on the other side of the ramps, and then we have a duplicate. As you can see, what we can do, go to devices, go to player spawn. I'm going to place it on the side of the map. You can place it wherever you want on the map or on this platform. The settings for the player spawn, this is what I suggest. Simply visible during games, set that to no. Also, a little tip, if you don't already know, you're going to need a lot of player spawns if you have a lot of people on your 1v1 map. So if you don't have it set up, people will actually spawn in the sky. Alright, so what we're going to work on next is the barrier. We're going to work on the background for our 1v1 map. Underneath here, go next to the mutator. What we're going to do, we'll go to devices, then go to barrier. With the barrier, place it next to the mutator. Go into the settings. Here are the settings that we need to change. Barrier style, this is how you stylize your background. I'm going to stick with the nebula just because it's a classic and it looks really good. But if you want, you can get creative and use any other style you like for your 1v1 map. Next option, zone shape, very important. Make sure this is set the box hollow. This is very important. So zone shape, make sure it's set the box hollow. If you have it set the box, you'll have a lot of issues with your map. Maybe you'll spawn and be frozen in place. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So make sure it's set the box hollow. Next option, barrier width, set this to 50. Barrier depth, 50. Barrier height, 100. Once that's done, confirm. And outside, you should have a barrier on the outside like so. If you don't see a barrier, what you can actually do is exit outside your barrier, then re-enter it, then it should pop up. But there you go, we got our barrier set. It's on the floor as well, which is really nice. Next, what we're gonna do, probably the most important, probably the most, asked for thing for 1v1 maps. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to build a build reset button for your 1v1 map. Now this technique that I'm going to show you guys is kind of like my technique mixed with BHE's technique. I don't think anyone's tried this before, at least no one's ever made a tutorial on how to do it this way. There's slight differences, but it's the same concept. Two devices, go to button. With the button, we're going to set it up at the ramps. I'm going to resize it and make it how I like it. Also, I'm going to rotate it. Next, I'm going to go into the options. Here are the options that you need. Reset delay, set this to 1 second. Interaction text, you can change this if you like. I have it set to reset. When interacted with, transmit on, set this to channel 149. Make sure that you have this setting correct. Next, two devices, and we're going to get the trigger. With the trigger, we're just going to place it next to the button, like so. Triggered by player, triggered by vehicles, triggered by sequencers, turn all these to off. Visible in-game, turn this to no, so it's invisible. Trigger when receiving from, very important, channel 149. Again, obviously anything we do with channels, make sure that you change this settings correctly. When triggered, transmit on, turn this to channel 150. Alright, confirm. Alright, next, what we're going to do, we're going to grab this button. We're actually going to place it on both sides, and then we're going to copy it, then place it on the other side of the ramp. You can actually select the buttons, select the floor, then grab the floor, then wrap around, and then place it in place. So as you can see, it's looking really good, and it's looking like a BHE map. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to copy this trigger here, and we're going to place it on the corner of our 1v1 platform. We're going to go into the settings. All right, a little tip, the tabs at the top, we're going to be on modified options. In modified options, we can see the settings that we've already changed. Trigger when receiving from, we're actually going to change this. We're going to set it to 150 instead of 149. When trigger transmit on, we're actually going to set this to channel 1. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to copy that trigger and place another one above it. Go into that settings, and the settings we're going to actually add. Transmit every X triggers, we're going to add 1 point to this, so now it'll be 2. Then also, when triggered transmit on, we're going to add 1 point to this option, so now it'll be a channel 2. Next, we're going to copy it again. Go into the third trigger settings, and we're going to change the settings transmit every X triggers, add 1 point to it, so now it's a 3. Then when triggered transmit on, set this to channel 3. So we just added 1 point to that option. So the amount of triggers that you have is the amount of times you can click on your build reset button in order to reset the builds for your 1v1 map. So to be safe, I recommend 30 to 50 build resets, 30 to 50 triggers. And all we're going to be doing is copying the triggers and changing those two settings, adding 1 point to it. Transmit every X triggers to 4. One trigger, transmit the 4. Copy that. Add 1 point to it. Now it's a 5. All it is just a sequence. Just copy the triggers and then change those two settings, adding 1 point to both those options. So I'm going to be building 35 triggers in order to have 35 build resets. This is probably the most complicated part in this tutorial, but hopefully it's, simple enough for people to understand. Again, be patient, try to understand what I'm doing here and, why I do it. 33, 34, 35. There you go. I made 35 triggers in order for my map to have 35, build resets. And I'm happy with that. 35 is good enough for me. 2 devices. We're going to go and select the objective device gallery. Go ahead and place that now. We're going to place it out here. And I'm also going to have drops on off so it floats. Next, I'm going to go to this device here. This is what makes the magic happen. We're going to take this and actually bring it to our ramps. Next, you can actually delete the other objective devices. We don't need these. All right, go into the settings. Here are the settings that we need. Health invulnerable, so it's indestructible. Blast radius 20. Hide health bar at always. Have this set to always. Visible during games, turn that to off. Play audio VFX off. Collision during games, very important. Make sure it's set to off. Next, destroy when receiving from. Have this set to channel 1. If you remember, our first trigger is set to when trigger transmit. We have it set to channel 1. So once this trigger gets activated, it will activate our first objective device. Now, real quickly to my subscribers that are actually into this type of thing, we got our explosive device. That was my original way on, making a build reset button. It's probably one of the safest ways to do it. But the only issue with the explosive device is the blast radius is maxed at 5 squares. And the objective device actually has a max of 20 squares, which is obviously better. You can actually reset the builds in a larger area, larger radius. So first glance, objective device is obviously better, but the only negative with the objective device is the fact that you can only have this device if you're using the indestructible gallery. All right, I apologize for people that didn't care. All right, back to it. So take the first objective device. We're gonna go and set grid snap set to 4, and we're gonna place it in between the ramps like so. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy that objective device and raise it up by 1 like so. Go into the second objective device settings. The settings that we're gonna change is destroy when receiving from. We're gonna change this to channel 2, so we're adding only 1 point to it. Next, copy that and rinse and repeat. Add only 1 point to destroy when receiving from. And now this is channel 3. All right, so most of you guys are probably understanding what we're doing here. We're copying the objective devices and then we're just changing 1 settings on it. So go ahead, do that till you get the amount of triggers that you have. So I have 35 triggers. I'm gonna make 35 objective devices. Now, a little tip, you can actually switch over to channels only. The tabs at the top, go to channels only. Then you just gotta, change 1 setting real quickly. I suggest you not making it too high. If it's like really high up, your map, your build reset might not work for too long. I think this high is the most I'll go. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue the objective devices. So you can take the one up top and then start at the bottom. Main thing is make sure that it's in the middle of the ramps like so, and then we can continue with our method. All right, my last objective device, 35. There we go, you guys. I made 35 objective devices, and I have 35 triggers here, meaning that I can make 35 objective devices. If you have more, obviously make more objective devices. I think there's a limit to the amount of objective devices you can make. I think it's like 75 or even like 100. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it out. So that is done. What we're going to do, we're going to test it out. All right, this is the first time testing it out. Should work. Let's take a look what everyone wants for their 1v1 map. So oh snap. Oh snap, it's like BHE 1V1. Oh snap, it's looking pretty good already. Big tester, we're gonna build on the outside here. We're gonna build on the outside. Does it remove all the builds in this area? Yes, it does. Oh snap. All right, you guys, so hopefully you got your build reset working. If your build reset isn't working from my tutorial, make sure that you change all the settings correctly. If you mess up those channels, if you mess up any of those options that I showed you guys, you're just gonna run into a lot of issues, and then you're just gonna have to restart your build. Now, if you're running into like big issues and you just can't figure it out for yourself, make sure you leave a like on this video and then let me know down in the comments that you need some help. Also, you like my videos, and then type in your epic name and maybe I can help you with your build reset. Now, obviously, I won't be able to help everyone, but I'll see what I can do. And if you guys got your, reset working, let me know down in the comments. I want to see who got their, reset working. Once you've done all of that, what we're going to do next is actually add a few things to our 1v1 here to, top it off and finish this map up. 2 devices. We're going to go to the pinball bumper and we're going to line it up with our ramps. Here are the settings that we need. Knockback, I have it set to mega high. Oh snap! Fall damage, I have it set to off. Allowed side bounce, turn this to off. Confirm. Go ahead and select that pinball bumper and then the floor. Bring it to the other side and then place it. Next 2 devices, then changing booth. You can place this wherever you like. Easy stuff. Next 2 devices, we're gonna go and select the item spawner. Item spawner. With the item spawner, place it somewhere on the corner of your map. Here are the settings that I recommend. Visible during games, turn that to off. Time before first spawn, instant. Time between spawns, instant. So go ahead and make as much item spawners as you like for your map. So it should look something like this. To weapons or consumables, and then go through the items, go through the weapons that you want for your 1v1 map. Once you're done, it should look something like this. If you want more item spawners, obviously you can add more item spawners. All right, so after that, it's looking pretty nice. It's looking like a BHE 1v1. So last thing that we can do with our map, we're actually gonna set up a game settings for our 1v1 map. So this is like default game settings that I have for my 1v1 maps. So go to my island, voice chat all. Total rounds, you can add rounds to your game mode. I'll set it up to 5. Time limit, set this to none. You don't want time limit for your 1v1 map. Join in progress. If you want a private match, you can have it set to spectate. If you want a public match, so anyone can join at any time, have it to spawn. I'll have it set to spawn. Next tab, settings tab. Starting shield, set this to 100%. Infinite ammo, set this to on. Environment damage, not really necessary for this map because it's how we built it, but I suggest environment damage to off. Eliminated players items, set this to keep. Health granted on elimination, set this to 200. Next tab, UI tab, not really necessary to change anything in here for your 1v1 map, but here's what I suggest if you decide to change anything. Score win condition, eliminations. Scoreboard tiebreaker 1, eliminations. Scoreboard tiebreaker 2, damage dealt. Scoreboard tiebreaker 3, eliminated. Back out of that. Got infinite materials. Got our guns back over here. Yes, sir. Alright, so here is an option. If you run out of build resets, you can actually have an end game function. 2 devices. Go to team settings and inventory. With that, we're going to go and place it anywhere around our platform. Next, we're going to go into the options. We're going to go to channels only. End round when received from, we're going to set this to channel 120. Alright, confirm. From there, go to your last objective device. My last objective device is a 35. Yeah, destroy when received from 35. The option that we're going to change is when destroyed transmit on. We're going to set this to 119. Next, what we're going to do, go to devices, go to timed objective. With the timed objective, I'm going to place it right next to the team settings and inventory. Here are the options that you need. Timer label text, have this set to however you like. I have it set to out of build reset charges, round will end. This will actually be a message that pops up once the end game timer begins. Visible during games, have this set to no. Urgency mode disabled. Start when received from, have this set to channel 119. When completed transmit on, have this set to 120. Alright, once you've done that, that is our end game function once we run out of charges, once we run out of build resets. And there you go, guys. I've showed you guys the basics. I showed you guys the simple way on making a BHE map for yourself. Now, obviously, there's other functions, there's other features out there, that you can build for your 1v1 map. I'll probably cover some of them. So if you guys want to see stuff like that, see other tutorials from me, subscribe, turn on notifications. For the people that are running into issues on building this, make sure that you have all the settings correct for the triggers. Try to understand what these triggers do. Also have all the settings for the button and the objective correct if it's, a build reset issue. For the people that got their map working, let me know down below in the comments. It's always nice to see people got their map working. If anyone wants to support me, use code JackjackHD in the item shop. If you do want to support me, greatly appreciate you guys. Hashtag ad. So if you guys enjoyed this video and this video was helpful, make sure you guys leave a like. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes in this video. But big shout out to BHE for making this really cool map. He's the original person who designed this map. His YouTube channel will be found in the description. And yeah, you guys have fun making this map. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.